Off the Top Rope, Wednesday night live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, presented by SixPackCoverage.com. I'm your boy Ty Asbury, and you have no idea how happy I am. I'm like, oh Lord, because the one, the only, Jessica Elaban, she said, Ty, I'm making my wrestling podcast return, and I want to come on the ropes to tell the whole wrestling world about what my plans are. And when Jessica Elaban has plans, you definitely want to listen. She is a true sensation doing work in WWE as well as other promotions in the entire wrestling world. Jessica Elaban makes her wrestling podcast return.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me now moving.
Whoa, I can never get enough of that song. What's up, everybody? Wednesday night, and as I always say, it's Wednesday night, and you know what's going down live as can be, presented by SixPackCoverage.com. She's already dancing, and I got to say this. Beauty, high flying, like I said, her opponent's a fear, the 5'9", dazzling, slamming, and jamming. My live guest, the one, the only, Jessica Elaban, is making her wrestling podcast return, and it's on the ropes. Jessica, what's up?
Hey, thank you so much for that introduction. Like, I'm truly humbled to be here. Thank you so much for asking me to be on your show. I've watched your episodes. I've been following it since you reached out to me, and I'm excited to be part of your show as it grows. So thank you for having me.
Well, like I always say, the ropes wouldn't be what it is today without you and everybody else. So I thank you and everybody else who's come on the ropes to help me get where I am today. So out to you. I'm honored. And I got to say, I've been doing my research and reading about you as well, wrestler. I also saw some actors. Like, you got a little bit of acting going on too. I saw some actress when I saw your Twitter. I was like, man, she's just like moving and grooving and going.
Man, yeah, I posted it. I feel like I'm constantly updating my profiles based on like every few weeks, because I'll get like an update for something or a new focus. And right now, I'm really focused on acting and stuff. I actually need to update it today because I got potentially something. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, I'm excited to be here to talk about like my future with wrestling, other projects and fun things I have going on. And then also to say that I am extremely grateful to still be in the game, and that there are platforms like this that allow both you and me to talk about like our stories, things we have going on. So I'm very eager and excited about your questions.
So I know you're ready to get back to the wrestling groove. So how excited are you just to take somebody and boom, body slam them? I know you're probably drooling from the mouth and your adrenaline's going crazy and everything. So being a wrestler, taking time off, and just how hard is it to get ready that you want to go in there and just cause I saw your clips on your matches. You got like the whole long leg kicking everybody in the head thing. It's kind of like a Jet Li, Jackie Chan thing going. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
I love it. Thank you for that. So taking time off away from it, it really gave me some perspective about, well, one, how lucky I've been and how grateful I am to have the abilities that I do. Probably I think I just sat and did nothing for 2 months because I think, well, one, my body needed the rest, my mind needed the rest. And now that it's been there, I'm training again in ring for the past, I want to say, what is it, March? About 2 months, 2 solid months. And it feels like riding a bike. I feel excited, rejuvenated. I'm very grateful to have met the people that I train with over at Self Made Gym in Castleberry. So if you guys are looking to get your feet wet in like the wrestling world and take some classes, go ahead and give Teal Piper and Damos a shout out. They run classes during the weekends and they are very good at what they do. So I'm excited to be a part of that. I'm actively looking for bookings for other promotions. I am mainly concerned with recreating myself. I feel like the time that I had for the appearances that you saw me on television, it was kind of like little snippets and stuff. And at the end of the day, when I had a chance to look back at everything, I was like, okay, so who is she? Right? Because it is about like creating a persona. And so returning back into the ring, I want to stick with one focused look persona, and it will be an extension of myself. And I am gonna just drop a hint. It's gonna be a little bit more on the maybe reminiscent of what you've seen before.
Well, because like you don't want to give too much away, but you're keeping your fans like interested. Like, oh man, what is she dropping? So you're doing a good job of kind of keeping fans. You're not dragging them in too much, but you drag them in just to the middle, and you're selling it in wrestling terms. You're selling it about your return to the squared circle.
Yeah, you never want to give everything away. It's like, have you ever watched a movie trailer and it's just like, oh, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
saw the movie, and then you don't go, right?
Where they sit there, where the trailer is pretty much the whole movie, and you're like, gee, thanks a lot. So, but yeah, we all know how that definitely goes. I want to ask you about. I'm really proud that you're doing that. You're getting back into training and everything. You said it's just like a bike. Now, in terms of being like a bike, is it? I guess maybe it depends on the individual. Is there one thing where it's like when you're training and it's like just feel like it's like a really heavy bike where you're like, but it's like is it a light bike where you're like, I haven't missed a beat.
I feel like in some ways, because I was able to rest, and I literally didn't look at wrestling for 2 months.
Yeah.
You can ask my significant other and stuff. Like while he's off doing his thing and like being great and like I'm so proud of him, I was like no, like I just need maybe just a clean slate. And so when I returned back to the ring for training, I was nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, like like okay, am I gonna suck at this? Is this gonna be like, man, like really dragging, or is it gonna be like, oh? And I'm really grateful because I was like, oh, okay. And like suddenly all of these other light bulbs that had been just kind of dim had suddenly just brightened, like as far as like, oh, I understand that now in a new way that I didn't know about before, or I would never have thought of. A lot of times I feel like I see, well, maybe not a lot of times, but when you see someone who is newer and greener, or like maybe they don't have a lot of matches, you can kind of tell like, okay, this looks a little choreographed, right? And like we hate using that term because we want to make everyone feel like it's real and like there's this genuine conflict between people, and it's just, and to where people feel uncomfortable but they still want to watch it, right? Because it's like, oh, she did that. And so now that I've had time to go back and revisit some of the lessons I've learned after having a break, it's like, oh, 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 okay, yeah, let's mess them up.
Well, there's a lot of firsts here on the show. I mean, you're making your debut here off the top rope. Now, I want to ask you. When I ask you this question, you're probably going to say, "Where's this going?" What's your birthday?
10-10, my
I was
favorite
just,
number.
we are both 10-10. I'm October 10, 1981. So I'm at the. I saw your. I was getting all my notes. I was like, "Oh shit!" So like, yeah. So I'm October 10, 1981. So yeah.
Hey, party for the Libras.
Yeah.
Make a decision. I don't know. No, I'm kidding.
Now speaking of, I mean, we're already in March. I'm gonna throw October in the show. Now, if you, what's probably, if you have any, I love October. I think it's a cool month. I mean, Halloween movies and everything. If you had to maybe pick like a favorite wrestling match, even one that you were in, what's one wrestling match that you would love to like probably watch on like Halloween, like around October?
Like a gimmick match
It's
or
probably like a gimmick, probably like a gimmick match.
hmm. So that's a tough question. Good question. I would say I'm, I've always been a fan of Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Uh, if I was gonna do that sort of match, I think it would be super cool if it was some sort of like fatal four-way
Oh yeah.
during
Oh yeah.
as
Total chaos.
well. Like just to kind of like raise the stakes, but not too much or whatever. But just to raise the stakes for it. If I was gonna have any dream opponents in it, dead or alive.
Yeah.
Dead or alive.
I was I
Uh,
was I was leading towards that because I was going to ask you if you had to do your own twists and turns on a Hell in a Cell Fatal Four. Who would your opponents be? Past, on, to present, even future people coming up. If you had to do your own Hell in a Cell, who of course you'd be in it. Who'd be the other three individuals in the match with you?
okay. I was gonna say, okay, so I think it would be really cool to face Macho Man Randy Savage just because he was such a personality and
Oh
so
yeah,
big. And like I remember during one of our class exercises, I did this very terrible impersonation of him, but I had so much fun. But just because there was an element to him that you didn't really know what was going to come out of his mouth, but you couldn't help but watch. I felt the same way for some of his matches and his style. So I feel like that could be really fun. And this is intergender, by the way.
yeah. I mean, because it seems like that intergender. I think on the indie scene is done a lot, but on the national stage, AEW, WWE, it's not really done a lot. And I really applaud the indies for doing a lot of intergender matches.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think with that, it's different audiences. AEW and WWE are very big companies, and they have like other people who are behind them. So it's kind of like you have to make decisions based on like who's on your team and then what's their message. So even though on the indie scenes it's really fun to watch, I've been going down like several different rabbit holes as well. Like on YouTube, I'm like, oh, what's this out here? Oh, like I didn't know that existed, but that's cool. Um, but yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's just meant for different kinds of audiences because when it comes down to it, like on the bigger company and stuff, whenever you present that to a larger scale audience, you have to consider like, okay, what's this person's message and what is it teaching younger generations? Like, is this okay? Is it not okay? Like, if we have to ask, maybe we shouldn't do it. So I think there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes goes in the decision making of those kinds of matches and where it's at. But I'm not against them.
Now, I will say, I'm looking at the comments for the show. Mr. Carlos said for you to do like a pumpkin head match for like a Halloween thing. I think that'd be really cool for like a kind of a gimmick match, pumpkin head match. Never thought of that. So, Carlos, thanks for bringing that to the show. I think that'd be pretty cool to do. So, a pumpkin head match. So,
Oh, are there other guests on here that are commenting?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't see that on the side. That's so cool. Thanks, guys.
yeah. So
I had
we
to
got
switch over.
we got people reaching out to you and everything. So yeah,
Hi,
pumpkin head match.
Jason. Oh,
Yeah.
look, it's Chris. What's up, Chris? I know him. And
So,
Carlos, what's up?
but
Okay,
the
I'm a hot.
biggest thing is that we see all your fans now commenting here on the show. But what do you want your new fans to get out of this episode when you leave the ropes tonight? Like, what do you want like fans to really get out of this episode after it's over tonight? Like knowing about you.
Oh, well, something about me. I'm working on a few different projects right now. One, you can support me, which I would be ever so grateful. Um, I've actually got in touch with this energy bar company. They reached out to me and they're like,
Yeah, you
you'd be
got
a good
plug.
candidate. And like, this is why I'm so jacked right now. But it's Verb Energy. I post the link on my social media at Jessica Elaban on both Twitter and Instagram. It is super delicious. It has 90 calories in it. And it's pretty much like taking an espresso shot. And they're like just these little granola bars and they taste pretty good. This one's vanilla latte.
Mm.
and I pretty much started taking it in place of pre-workout and pre-interviews. So give it a try. You can see it on my social media. And then also, I've been working on an art series, which I am staying focused on. I have this habit where my creativity is mixed with attention this way, that way, this way, where it's like I'll make a piece and I'm like, see, show and tell, isn't it beautiful? And like I'll do commission pieces. One of the people on here actually purchased a piece from me and commissioned it because they were a fan of anime just like me. And what I do with the proceeds from that, a portion of that goes towards Give Kids the World Village, which is a local charity here in Orlando that supports children who have certain terminal diseases or their families are having a hard time. So what the village does is give them like week-long vacations to where they could just be people. So very happy to be a part of that. But circling back, I'm working on an art series, which I'm going to auction off later down the line once it's completed. But it is going to be a combination about friendship, what different types of relationships bring out different types of emotions. So there's kind of a dark side to it. There's a bright side to it. There's a mysterious side to it, kind of like when you first meet someone and you just don't know how you feel about them yet. So very excited to be working on that, and I am staying focused on that. So thank you for asking. And if anybody would like any special art made for them, please feel free to reach out in my DMs on Instagram at JAElectra, JAEELECTRA.
That's like definitely a really cool thing. And you really brought up something good. Like you have like the partnership with the brands, the bars that you're doing. That's a really cool thing when you have a partnership with somebody. It's like they're promoting you and you're promoting their product. So I think that's like that's like definitely that flashing green light for you. That I'm sure when that happened, that probably opened your eyes.
So after well, I got 30 days. So after my 30 days, a bunch of like content creators were reaching out and I didn't really know which direction to go. I just felt really confused because I never really took the time to look at that. Like for me, it was like, I'm gonna wrestle. And then when other opportunities came up, it was like, oh, like this world is actually a lot bigger than I imagined. And so I'm going to start dreaming bigger and see what partnerships make sense, what partnerships are good for both of us, like mutually great. Because I think whenever you're going into business with somebody, it should be like, okay, like a good exchange. Everyone wins. So that's what my goal is with all of my new business. So yeah.
Now, you said that people want to, purchase your drawings. I was going to ask you. I mean, I'll say it first and foremost. See, me, I got like a big watermelon head. So if you want to draw me, how much paper would it take up? Because I got a big ass head. So I mean, I don't know, like.
This wall. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. Honestly, like here's how it works. So people will direct message me. I'll just let them know like, hey, it really depends on how detailed you want it. If you need it by a certain time, if you want it a certain size. So really like your imagination and your desire, like I'm willing, like I could work with whatever. I know some people who are like, hey, like I don't really make that much. So what do you got for this much? And I'm like, well, I don't have anything for this much, but I could make something for this much, So it's really just a collaborative thing. And actually randomly for a second there, I thought I was going to be like the dog portrait lady and stuff. Like I made a sketch for one of my friends who live in Florida, and he loves his dog, and his dog is so cute. And so I put a sketch up on there, and then I got like several messages later, like, oh, can you make this for my pup? And like everybody has their own unique little story. And I feel like pets are awesome, especially dogs. I don't have a dog right now, but I would really like to get one soon. But it's just like the bond that you make with your pets or animals. It's like your best friend and you want to take care of them. So if I could be a part of that, great. Even anything else. So
Now, one thing we're all talking about getting pets. We're talking about drawings. You never know what's going to happen on Off the Top Rope. But one thing I know is happening on Off the Top Rope right now. This episode is sensational because my live guest tonight, the one, the only Jessica Elaban is on my show tonight, and she is doing big things. She's doing so many things. I can't like. I'm running out of fingers. I don't even know, and that's a good thing. So if I'm like, man, she's doing it all now. The biggest thing of all that you're doing, and before we started the show, I wrote it down. You're dabbling at the screenwriter, writing screenwriting scripts and everything. And when you told me that, I was like, we got to talk about that.
Okay. Well, first I want to say hi to R and everyone else who's commenting. This is my hands new, but hey. So it didn't really dawn on me until after until like till later and stuff that I could write. And I wanted to give a shout out to Joe Belcastro. He is one of he used to write for NXT, and I actually ran into him randomly, and he just wrote a book. I believe it's called I'm gonna mess this up. I think it's sorry, Joe. I'll post it later. But anyways, it was funny. Like I would pitch certain things to him and stuff for creative, and this was like years ago. He was like, Jess, I think you'd be able to do screenwriting and stuff. And this was like years before I even thought it would be anything. But he said that to me, and it's like, you know how when somebody who's influential says something to you and you're just like, oh, I will take that in and thank you. And he gave me that compliment, and then I've been in touch with like other people, and they compliment me on how I write, how I have a particular voice. And after the release and stuff, an agent reached out to me and they were like, hey, what do you think about writing? And I was like, I don't know why you're asking me, because I don't have any material, but I'm down. And so that came when I started putting everything together and stuff. And I should probably say what it's about. It's kind of fiction, nonfiction, about my journey into wrestling, and then some fun aspects to it. I would like for it to be more comedy. I feel like whenever there is like wrestling in the spotlight, it's kind of like this drama or this dark side, or maybe a dramedy to it. I just said and you get it through the male lens and stuff. I mean, other than other productions, like I think there's like Wow and Glow and things like that, but it's like, okay, those are kind of more drama, and I like making people laugh, so why don't we make this funny and screenplay this into something that's along the lines of like It's Always Sunny, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, maybe with some other tones of maybe Invincible with that too, just to keep the action up. So I'm really enjoying the process. I've never done it before, and I have help, which I'm so grateful for. And I have no idea when it's going to be released because I'm still writing it, but I hope you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys love it.
Yeah, I think writing can be such a phenomenal, just mind easing thing, a hobby to have. I mean, of course, you have as a hobby, people do it because they love to do it, like what you're doing. And for me, I had to kick myself in the butt because I've actually started, like it's like little notes here and there, right here in the studio here, but writing a sitcom, and I got to get my butt back on doing that because I'm only like on just characters, do this, this, and this. So I got to get my butt back in gear. But writing is a very cool thing. I've always loved writing, going back since way back then. But you're in a really good area and something that you love to do, writing, because it's so mind-blowing, relaxing.
Yeah. So when I was researching it, I love Tarantino. Are you a Tarantino fan?
Oh yeah, his movies. Yeah, I was watching a couple Kill Bill. I was watching that a few weeks ago. So
Classic, all that. Yeah, before I like decided to dive into it, I was just researching how my favorite directors and screenwriters and authors, like what their process was. And something he said in an interview was like, okay, there is no process, right? Like as long as you're enjoying it and you feel good about what you're writing, like put yourself in an environment where you're relaxed, just like what you said, and just let the words flow. So to me, that was like, okay, I can do this. You know, there's no secret formula where I have to go to an academy and spend lots of money. Like I could do this. Like I have my experiences, which are like super fun and super crazy and random, and it just helped me believe in myself too. So like I feel like if anybody's going to take anything from this interview and podcast, like if you have a dream and if you apply yourself and you stay consistent, which like same with you and your writing, like that's probably like the easiest, hardest thing to do is staying consistent. Because once you have like your program and your schedule and you have the discipline to do it and the determination and the desire and like just did I say dedication? Like it's all there. Like you can do it. You can do it.
You can do it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing about with my show, the ropes, off the top ropes. It is me, and you know, I always question myself: can I keep being consistent? And this is like my baby, and this is what I do. And yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of like you got to keep it going. And for me, I hope I can. So I'm trying my best and everything to keep off the top rope, you know, sizzling and moving and grooving. So now it seems like you said it earlier during for the show that you're getting back into wrestling. You kind of want to retool yourself, just fix some things in how you were before. You took some time off of wrestling. Do you think you being like a really extremely talented writer, do you think that helps and for you to really think about how you want to, you know, come back to wrestling and have like a little tweak to your character?
I think I've had time to think this through and what I want from wrestling, and I feel very sure-footed with it. I know what my overall message is going to be, and you'll have to stay tuned and see. Um, but I think if anybody's going to go into wrestling, like you have to go at it like 110%, because nowadays and stuff, from what I'm seeing with the changes, like I was lucky enough to go to the performance center having no experience before, and I had pretty much everything I needed. And what I realize now is when I'm doing my research and looking at other promotions, meeting with other wrestlers who are on the independent scene, I can only say like I have so much respect for all of you, because your journey is difficult and it's hard. And I think other, like, I mean, creatively and stuff, just to circle back to your question, I think when you have that, utilize it, have it well thought through, seek mentors, ask questions. Don't be afraid of the truth, because the truth will set you free. And the truth also hurts sometimes, but it'll set you free. Be careful and wary about whose opinions you seek as well. Make sure it's someone that you trust. Make sure it's someone who has a track record of success. You know, like it's easy for you to ask your peers and stuff. And if you guys are friends, like you'll say nice things to each other. But I think the more honest a person is with constructive criticism, that'll be good. That'll be really good for you. But as far as approaching my own creativity with promoters and stuff, like some people and promotions, like they have their own agenda. So it's like you have to collaborate, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of which, you talked about, brought up promoters. Now, when you move forward and get back into wrestling, what would any promoter you go up to and talk to them, what would they be getting with the new Jessica, Alvin? Like, what would they be getting, with you in 2022 moving forward?
Someone who's playfully aggressive.
I like that. Yeah, it's just simple, and that's like simple as can be. And they would probably be like, I like that. Yeah, because it's just like to the point and it makes you think. So it made me think. I was like, I can dig that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, I'm gonna roll a clip because we all know they're like, as far as promotions, they're the two biggest, in to the biggest, hills in wrestling today. Now, I'm gonna pull up this graphic, and now you did your thing in NXT and you dominated and did extremely well. You look at the NXT side, like what's one great feud that could have been that didn't happen, and you have the AEW side, who would be a great feud for you if you stepped into an all elite wrestling ring.
I want to think about this carefully because this is a pretty cool question. Someone who there's two people in NXT who impressed me from the get-go. I remember one of them specifically during a tryout, who's actually, you're seeing more of her on TV now. And then another person, oh man, there's actually a few. Dang. I have to pick one. Don't do this to me.
You can go as many as you want.
All right, let's just say if we had a fatal four-way match for this fantasy match that we created earlier, and it was all women. Someone who I know is super dedicated to wrestling, not just because of her family history and stuff, but she has a genuine passion for it. Her and I talk about it kind of like off and on. We'll check in with each other. Simone Johnson, for sure. Like the more she's gotten comfortable with it, like throughout, like I know she's gonna kick ass. Two others that come to mind, Lash Legend and Ivy Nile.
I like
two
that.
of them, or three of them.
Yeah, my ass would be front row in the seat watching that, so I'd be there. So believe that.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because these, from what I saw while I was there, like they're dedicated, they're coachable, and they want to learn and they want to make an impression.
And definitely in wrestling, I know for sure. I mean, I've never been in the ring, but you have to learn. It's like you're gonna be learning on the job. I think it sounds like I've been a fan all these years and having guests on the show. It seems like in wrestling, you never stop learning.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It seems like in wrestling that you never stop learning when you're in wrestling. It's like you learn on the job pretty much.
Yeah, I think you always do. You never stop learning. Like I can remember that from all of my coaches, or like all of the coaches that I've had, even the new people that I'm meeting. And I think that's the beauty of it. And I think that's why it's so addicting, because it constantly humbles you. And it's like reaching the next level of a video game only to find out that there's another level. And it's like, but I really want to get this and I really want to win. But I think the more I've been in this, like the only way you can truly win is when you're showing something that is authentic, something that's unique, and something that no one else can do. So it's so important for you to reel yourself back in at times and be like, okay, well, this person's doing this over here. This person's doing that over there. Okay, cool. I can't do any of that stuff, but this is what I can do. And hold on to that. Also for AEW, just to answer this question, I'm seeing some comments. Comments.
They're blowing up. They're blowing up.
Okay, Ty, her and I have a history over at NXT. Let's see. Oh, okay. People are asking being babyface or heel. I want you guys to wait and see for that. And then
that.
Also, oh, God. Sorry. All right, go ahead.
But no, and you really answered that NXT question really cool. Now we all know how AEW's doing with their women's division. I think you will fit in that division really well. Now, who would you have a kick-ass feud with, and with the ladies with AEW?
Jade Cargill.
That would be a good match. That'd be a good match.
For sure. I mean, I think when I look back at my NXT career, I didn't go for gold. This new Jessie, she's going for gold, and she's gonna get it.
I'm gonna say this for talent right now in 2022. She just said she meant it. You better be damn scared. I'd be scared. So, I mean, that you're serious about that, and that's all I want to hear. You gotta be serious, and you're coming for the gold in 2022. And I'm hoping the next time you come back on the show, you have a title over your shoulder. So it's going to happen. So.
Yeah, if I get like a return invite here, I'm more than down. Like this was super fun, and like I just can't wait to like. It's so cool to like be able to check back in and be like, okay, well, did she do what she was saying she was?
Well, I do reunion shows, so definitely it'll happen because I do reunion shows, so no doubt about that. So we always do a off the top rope reunion show. So, but yeah, but the most important thing, like you said, is that you're just moving forward and looking ahead to in 2022 because it just seems like with so many promotions out there, like it's like 2022 is like a buffet. You got so many choices.
There is, and I feel like wrestling is making its mark more than ever. No pun intended. But I feel like with YouTube and the internet, like there wasn't that when I was growing up watching wrestling. It was just what was on TV. And I think more than ever, like up and coming new talent have an opportunity to shine and show what they can do because of the internet and YouTube. So like I said, with the YouTube rabbit holes, I'm like, okay, like look at this person over here at this promotion, or I didn't know about this promotion. So it's like it's really an important critical time too for everybody to do their research and reach out to the right people and have all the things that they need to prepare, because this is the age of information. It's at your fingertips. It's up to you to be active about it.
Oh, like no doubt. And I always like I had to bring this up because I saw something on Twitter. I wanted to bring this up on the show because not only you do like writing, wrestling, like I said, you're helping out with the community, like for kids. So you also dabbing in some food. So, and who don't like to eat? So the question up there in the corner is, if you could help us out, Jess, what's the best dish that you could probably make for us, including me, to eat while we're watching one of your matches? Could have been past, present, and in the future. Like I said, hook us up. Like, what's one like your favorite dish that we can grub on during one of your matches?
Okay, so here's how I rate my favorite dishes. Is it easy to make, and is it fast to make? And is it delicious, right? Because I don't want to, I mean, sometimes, some occasions call for a little more time and preparation, but for me, and I think it's so funny that you grabbed this, like that picture from my social, because that really was an experiment. And like the next video after, I was like, all right, we're going to see if this is good or not. But, I slam at this one salmon recipe, which I will be happy to share on my social media after this. Prep times, probably like 10 minutes, cook times, 15 minutes, half an hour, you're good and stuff. And it's so delicious. I make it like for meal prep every time Swerve comes home and stuff. Like he's got his meals, and then there's my meal prep, and like mine's gone before his are. So I know it's good.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Swerve, man. He's doing his thing in AEW. So like, and Swerve, that's his house. So like I said, definitely respects out to him doing his thing, man. So and you too. I mean, y'all, you guys are, the sky is high for you guys, and I couldn't be any more proud for both of you and what you're doing in wrestling. So just keep it going, man. That's what I say. Keep it going.
Thank you. We honestly, like, the more I've learned about his journey and stuff and him traveling the world, whenever he goes to another promotion to wrestle, like I just watched a match that he did over in Dublin, and it's like they're all yelling Swerve's house, and the reason is because he took the time to travel the world and make a name for himself. So I couldn't be more sweet or perfect just seeing him travel even all over the US, and everyone knows what to say or whatever when you ask whose house. So I'm really honored to have him too as like a mentor as I continue my wrestling journey. And it's like what you said, like sky's the limit right now for us.
Now, of course, Jesse, this is the part of the show where you really got to think about this, and I stump my guest every time on the show with this. So I'm gonna roll the clip because it's time for
Damn, Ty. That's good.
All right. So you ready for the question?
You made me nervous, but yeah.
all the guests are like, oh, here we go. So we all know you're slowly, steady, making your way back into the ring. So, if possible, could you do for everybody watching live just a quick promo right there about your return to wrestling off the fly?
Well, I'm a little offended that you asked because I told you already that you need to watch and wait, Ty. But you know what? Like I said before, it's a new Jesse and it's a new era. So let's have some fun.
Oh, there we go. And that I like that because it's not too long. It's just like where it hits. It's short and brief. And I always say brief can be good. So boom. So yeah.
Thank you.
Now,
You put me on the spot, man. I love it.
Yeah, I had to do it. That you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen on the show, but it's all fun. Like I said, the thing about it is, we come on the show, you loved it, you were smiling. That's what we do in the roast, man. We all have fun to smile here on the show. Now, Jesse, as we of course conclude this awesome episode of Off the Top Rope, I want to ask you. The whole world wants to ask you, what's up next for you and everything you're doing. I mean, writing, wrestling, art. You got so much going on. So just let us all know in each and every one, if you want to, each and every one of those categories, what's up next?
If you're an independent promotion, don't be surprised if you hear from me soon. I'm very excited when there is opportunities. And as far as the writing, I feel like we covered it all. I'm keeping it there because I feel like if I add another thing, I won't get anything done. So in the meantime, I'm writing. I am focused on my art, and I'm focused on training and potential acting opportunities. So wherever the good vibes are, wherever the good energy is, as long as there's no force to it and it feels like the timing is good, if it's right for both of us, let's make some magic. Let's do some cool stuff.
You look like, speaking of movies, you look like the badass. I can see right now with the black leather coat jumping on hills and shooting people. You'd be like the badass action star. That when you said that, I just pictured that. So yeah.
That would be so cool. Oh, that would be amazing. I have a leather jacket.
Yeah. So now we talked about earlier. Now this is the official invite, but I got to ask it this way. Now, of course, Jesse, from 1 to 10, would you ever come back on Off the Top Rope and party it up again with Ty Asbury?
Oh, 11. Let's go. Let's check back in. Yeah. I'm going to put in the good word for all of my wrestling friends. So if they're not on here, or if they, this is synergy.
Like I said, let all your friends know they got to come on the ropes. The ropes is where it's at today. I still said the hottest podcast going today. So let all your friends know, and you gotta definitely this is our little handshake or double body slam. You come back, you won't see a belt on that shoulder. So
for sure.
That definitely.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in and watched. I am so thankful. I could not be where I'm at today without y'all's continued support, whether you're a new fan or old fan. It's really, it really touches me a lot. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard what the one and only Jessica Elaban said. She is doing so many great things in the ring, outside the ring, putting smiles on everybody's faces. And she also did, this guy right here, Ty Asbury. I'm your boy, Ty Asbury. Thank you for watching this Wednesday night episode of Off the Top Rope. I know everybody wants to hear the kick-ass theme song, so I'm going to play it because we're going to get up out of here. Thank you for coming to tonight's Wednesday night party on the ropes. We're out of here. Jessica, as always said, God bless. Be safe.
You too.
We out of here. Peace out.
The Ropes Media. Tyron Asbury. Yeah. Tyron Asbury. Yeah. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us.